Ladies and gentlemen, it's Opportunity Knocks. Introducing your host, Hughie Green. Welcome to another section of Opportunity Knocks, coming to you from Manchester, where the discoveries of today may indeed be the stars of Britain tomorrow. Now, I know that you're all sitting at home there, Auntie and Uncle, all saying, I wonder who won last week. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the winner of last week's show, with an enormous amount of votes, was Winston Bowers. Winston, and what I'm going to ask you right now is, what are you going to sing for us this week?
Wow, now, Hughie, first I'd like to thank the many viewers who voted me back.
Fine.
And I've got a wonderful arrangement in contrast to last week. I'll dance ballerina dance.
Ballerina dance. Fine. We look forward to hearing it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, one of the things I would like to say to you is we do appreciate you sending in these wonderful votes, but I've got something to tell you. If you don't have a postcard in the house, you can always send it in on just a plain envelope for postcard rates, as long as you don't seal the envelope. So that's what I have to say to you. But now I know that you want to hear Winston sing again. This week, a contrasting number. So, ladies and gentlemen, for Winston Bowers, yet again, Opportunity Knocks. Ballerina dance, and do your pirouette dance, rhythm with your aching heart. Dance, ballerina dance, you must once forget a dance and have to dance the part. Whirl, ballerina whirl, and just ignore the chair that's vacant in the second row. This is your moment, girl, although he's not out there applauding as you steal the show. Once you say some must wait there, you wanted fame instead. I guess that's your concern. And love is gone, ballerina gone. So on with your career, you can't afford a banquet plan. And on and on and on, 1,000 people here have come to see the show, and round and round you go for ballerina dance. Once you say his love must wait its turn, you wanted fame instead. I guess that's your concern. We live and live, and the love is gone, ballerina gone. So on with your career, you can't afford a backward dance. And on, 1,000 people here have come to see the show, and round and round you go, for ballerina dance. Thank you very much indeed for last week's winner. Thank you for Winston Bowers singing Dance, Ballerina Dance with a great backing from Bob Sharples and the boys. I have sitting next to me now Mr. Stacy Brewer of the Yorkshire Evening Press, York. Is that correct, Stacy?
Correct.
That's true. I got it right this time. I messed it up at rehearsal. I got it right now. Tell me, is the Empire still going there in York?
Well, it's still going, Hughie, but unfortunately it's no longer a theatre. Like so many variety theatres, it's closed down, and I'm sorry to see this because
Great pity.
it closes channels for young artists. They don't get too much of an opportunity of showing what they can do, and so I feel that television talent shows are really meeting a need.
Well, that's very kind of you to say that. Thank you tremendously. I'll ask you one question. We have people who write to us from time to time, and they say they don't feel that it is quite fair to have, shall we say, singers and dancers and acrobatic dancers and conjurers all put together on the show. How do you feel about that? Because I know that you're a critic and you write as a critic. How do you feel about mixing talent up on the show?
Well, I think that this has to be done because variety is the spice of life.
True.
Variety is the essence of show business, and you've got to mix it.
So that's the way you feel. Well, thank you very much. Now, who have you brought along here for us today, Sam?
I've brought along two magicians, the Duvals. They're from York. They're husband and wife.
Good.
I met them at a magician's dinner where everything disappeared, including the food. And they really, after the dinner, they had to perform. The magicians entertained each other. And
Right.
I was most impressed by the Duvals.
We want to see it. Ladies and gentlemen, for the Duvals from York, opportunity knocks. Husband and wife team from York, the Duvals, who gave us the bird very charmingly. And I have a very nice lady sitting beside me now. The name is?
Mrs. Dyson.
And where are you from, Mrs. Dyson?
Barnsley.
Barnsley, good. And tell me this, what do you do there? What do you do for a living?
I'm a housewife.
Housewife, and who are you going to introduce to us?
7 children.
Your 7 children you're going to introduce?
No, they're not mine.
They're not yours. Whose are they?
My sister's, 7 children from my sister's dancing school.
Oh, that's great. Your sister, where does she have a dancing school?
Sunderland.
What's her name?
Mary Harvest.
Fine. What's the name of the act? What do they call themselves?
The Roslynn Babes.
Roslynn Babes, how old are they?
12 and 13.
12 and 13. Well, we hope that you're all watching up there in the Northeast. Ladies and gentlemen, for the Roslynn Babes from Sunderland, opportunity knocks. quite sure you will agree with me. The Tiller Girls of tomorrow, the Roslynn Babes from Sunderland. So everybody up there in the South Shields, the Pity Me and the Riot District, there's possibly the person you should vote for out of the act you should vote for this week. Now, I have another lady talent spotter, and your name is?
Mrs. Diana Cardiff.
A little bit louder, darling.
Mrs. Diana Cardiff.
Are you nervous?
A little bit.
You're nervous. Hold me hand. Hold me hand. Where are you from?
Bracknell, Berkshire.
Bracknell, Berkshire. I see. Well, that's near Reading. That's where I had all the nurses down there. They held my hand. See, when I didn't feel to. They did. They were wonderful to me, the nurses. You know, one thing about all those nurses in the Battle Hospital down there, you know what they used to do? They took so much care of me. They wanted me to have rest the whole time. That every 2 hours, they'd come round, wake me up, and give me a sleeping pill. They did. Well, now, tell me this. Who have you brought along here for us today?
The headliners.
The headliners. Who are the headliners?
Well, they're country and western folk singers.
Folk singers. Are they friends or relatives of yours?
One of them is my younger brother.
Your younger brother?
Yes, and David and Mary. They're married.
They're friends?
Yes,
Friends
they're
of
all
yours.
friends.
I see. This is a professional act?
Yes, they've been professional for 6 months.
Fine. Jolly good. And we wish them luck. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to hear them right now for the headliners from Bracknell in Berkshire. Opportunity knocks. Indeed, for a very charming young lady and 2 awfully nice guys, the headliners from Bracknell in Berkshire. Now, I would like to tell you, because I didn't bring it out in the interview, they wrote that number themselves. So if you want to vote for them, because they're very talented, the name is the Headliners, the Headliners. So now, friends, whilst I feed one of the actors, we're going to have a slight intermission. Welcome back to Opportunity Knocks, indeed, which is the program in which you, the viewers at home, can choose the act that you want to see go forward into next week's show. Now, the gentleman sitting next to me now is Harry Hallam. Is that correct?
Correct, sir. Yes.
Harry Hallam. Where are you from, Harry?
Hyde, Cheshire.
Hyde, Cheshire. And what do you do for a living?
I'm a police sergeant.
Has anybody escaped today?
Well, I'm weekend off this weekend, Hughie, and I haven't seen...
You haven't seen anything like that. I see. Harry, I'm going to ask you a question. I happen to hear a very interesting radio broadcast by the BBC, that's the Broken Biscuit Corporation. when there was a very large escape earlier on this year. And they did a very interesting thing, and I do commend them for it because it was fascinating to listen to. They took a live microphone down into the centre of Manchester here, to Piccadilly, and they asked people what their opinions were of the fact that this man had escaped. And I was quite interested to hear the majority of the people praised the fact that this fellow had got out of prison. Now, you as a police officer, what is your opinion of members of the public who feel that way?
Well, I feel that they are betraying the members of the public, like yourself, your good audience here, and all the good people of this country.
You do?
I do indeed.
Well, that's interesting to hear. Going on to things of a lighter nature, who have you brought along for us?
The Blue Lotus Jazzmen.
The Blue Lotus Jazzmen.
Yes.
Is this a trad group?
They are indeed, yes.
This is the first trad group I think we've had on the show this season. We try to have every kind of music. And where did the boys come from?
Hyde in Cheshire.
And where did you find them? What's the deal behind them?
Well, funny enough, I saw them first in my own front room.
Good. Why were they in your own front room? Must be a bit noisy in your own
Well,
front room.
one of the boys is my boy.
Is your son?
Yes.
I see. And who have they played for?
Well, they've done a tremendous amount of club work in the Manchester area, but the highlight was when they was made the Musicians of the Year for the National Associations of Boys Clubs in October last year.
That's a wonderful thing. Actually, that is the organization that Frankie Vaughan has a great deal to do with.
Yes, Frankie Vaughan is a great friend of ours, and we're playing with him this October in the Palace.
Well, we're very thrilled to say that Frankie was actually on Opportunity Knocks at one stage of the game.
Well, I didn't know that, but...
Well, I didn't. I'd forgotten, and he came and told me. That's what a wonderful guy is. Anyway, we want to hear the boys now. It's the Blue Lotus Jazzmen, is that correct?
That is correct.
The Blue Lotus Jazzmen, ladies and gentlemen, from Hyde, Cheshire, for whom Opportunity Knocks. Music. That is the first trad group we've had on the show. We always try and bring you variety, every type of music and singing and so on and so forth. That's the Blue Lotus Jazzmen, if you want to vote for them. Awfully nice boys. Now, the gentleman sitting next to me now has introduced me on many occasions before when I played in various places. He's a master of ceremonies, and his name is Sonny Jones. Right, Sonny?
That's right, Jerry.
Nice to have you here in the show. Where's your home?
My home is in, well, where Liverpool's next to, Bootle.
That's good. I must remember that. I remember playing the saxophone there years ago now.
You must have been brave.
I must have been brave. I know. They took me there in an armored car, and they took me away in the same thing afterwards. I found that for nothing. Tell me this, what did you used to do before you were a master of ceremonies?
Oh, well, before I was in the entertainment business, I was with the Merchant Navy.
Merchant Navy. Who have you got for us here tonight?
Well, I brought along a young comedian who lives in Speak near Liverpool.
Yes.
His name is Georgie Thompson.
All right.
And I first met him at a holiday camp in Pathapi.
Yes.
And there he used to go on staff shows. And I enjoyed him so much, I thought he has a lot of potential.
Good.
So now, just 6 months ago, and the boy is now doing cabaret, great club work in the north. He's a full-time professional.
We want to hear. Ladies and gentlemen, for Georgie Thompson from Speak Liverpool, Opportunity Knocks. If we have a Mr. Ronald Biggs here, would he please go when he move his furniture van? The people trying to get out. I see Jerry from the Pacemakers. He's got a new manager, Jack Solomon. But seriously, I've just come back after finishing a film for the Conservative Party. It's called Room at the Top. Thank you. So, but quite honestly, ladies and gentlemen, life is one big pantomime. And now I would like to give you my version of a pantomime. It's a story of Cinderella. It's the very same as you all know, except I would change the words about it a little bit. I would take the C from Cinder and the R from Rella, reverse them, and that becomes Windy Cellar. And all the way through the story I will juggle the words about, and I do hope you will follow my version of Windy Cellar. It goes something like this. Twice upon a time, there was a little girl, and her name was Windy Cellar. And one day, while Windy was at home, doing all the wordy-dirt, her two sister ugliers had an invitation to go to the golf. So Windy said to her first sister uglier, whose name was Timmy Jarbuck, "Why can't I go to the golf, Timmy?" And he said, "Because you've got to stay at home and do all the money there, Cathy Ed." So the two sister ugliers went to the wall, leaving poor Windy Cellar flubbing the scrawl. When suddenly, there was a big flash. That's a big flash. And Windy looked up, and it was a man-woman. She said, "You are who?" And the man-woman said, "I am your Gary Fodmore. And I've come to make you nice, so you can go to the goal, meet the Phantom Hints, and possibly met Gary." So Windy said to her Gary Fodmother, "I can't go to the goal in these rags." So her Gary Fodmother, once they made the quads, and Windy Cellar's rags changed into a beautiful bright west. With a red rose, you can't change that one round. Then she said to her Gary Fodmother, "I still can't go to the goal. I've got no pants trot at transport." So her Gary Fodmother said, "Windy, if you bring me more Frank Boys and a King Pump, I will change them to more Frank Waters and a cage coach." Enjoy yourselves, boys. So Windy got the more Frank Boys and a King Pump, placed them on the floor, and her Gary Fodmother once they made the quadge, and the more Frank Boys and a King Pump changed into more Frank Waters and a cage coach. Then her Gary Fodmother said, "Windy, you go to the goal and enjoy yourself. But do make sure you're mown by midnight." So little Windy Cellar bent to the wall, and when she walked in, the band was playing a fast slow trot. The Phantom Hints seen Windy Cellar, and he walked right over to her saying, "May I have the pleasure of this plant?" And she danced all night with the Phantom Hints, but suddenly, the big clock struck 15.
fella robbed the ball. Doing so, the flipper sitting from the suit. So the constable picked up the flipper, and he said, whoever the flipper sits, mine will harry. So the second sits the uglier, forced the flipper on the soot, shouting, the flipper sits, the flipper sits. But the flipper never sits. So the constable went from house to house. You can't change that one round either. Eventually, he met Windy Cellar, and the flipper sitted her little soot. So he said, the flipper sit, you soot. Will you harry me? And they both carried, and lived ever happily after. And the moral of the story is this: never put your cat in the washing machine, or you might get a sock in the puss.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for Georgie. Thank you for Georgie Thompson, a really original comedian. Now, I have a gentleman sitting beside me now who comes from North Wales, correct, sir?
Yes.
And the name is?
Norman Wright.
What do you do, Mr. Wright, in North Wales?
Well, I have a business of my own down in North Wales there.
I see. And who are you going to introduce to us here tonight?
The Flanderless Male Voice Choir.
Well, that sounds wonderful. Are you Welsh yourself?
No, I'm afraid I'm not Welsh.
You're not Welsh?
No.
In other words, you're a foreigner living in Wales?
I'm adopted.
Adopted, I see. Where did you hear the choir the first time?
Well, I was connected with the local council at one time, and I met them there on many occasions at functions which they were appearing at.
Right.
And from there we sort of got together, and they've done a number of charity shows.
Great. Tell me, what do the boys do? Are they all?
Well, so they're drawn from all walks of life. We've got farmers, shopkeepers, school teachers, post office engineers.
Great.
Well, everything you can think of.
Do you know what opportunity knocks is in Welsh?
Oh, no,
You
don't?
don't?
I don't.
Well, I've got a surprise for you. I do. Ladies and gentlemen, for the Llandellas Male Voice Choir, Cyfle Culhwch. had it from the Glendolos Male Voice Choir, a choir made up of farmers, shopkeepers, and just ordinary, wonderful guys that live in the Glendolos, North Wales. And now we come to the most important part of our show. We come to a freeze time in which we bring back the 7 acts that you have already seen so that you may see them again and indeed choose the one that you want to see go forward into next week's program. First of all, tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we heard the voice of last week's winner. Will he be this week's winner again? The name was Winston Bowers, and Winston sang for us tonight like this. 1,000 people here to come to the show, riding around your love, so ballerina down. For Winston Bowers, spelled B-O-W-E-R-S, and he received on the clapometer in the studio, from the studio audience, a score of 60 points, 60 points. In the second act tonight was a married couple, a magician and his wife, the Duvals, who entertained us by giving us the bird like this. Duvals, D-U-V-A-L-S, who received 55 points from our studio audience. But of course, remember, you, the viewers at home, are the ones who hold everybody's destiny in your hands. Next, we saw a group of dancers from up there in the Northeast. Charming little ladies, just 13 years of age, the Roslynn Babes, who danced like this. R-O-S-S-L-Y-N, who received a score of 60 in the studio. 60 for the Roslynn Babes, and of course they came from Sunderland. The fourth act we heard, the fourth act were the headliners, and the headliners sang for us like this. The headliners, and they too scored 60 points. If you want to vote for them, headliners, H-E-A-D-L-I-N-E-R-S, and they come from Bracknell in Berkshire. The next act were the Blue Lotus Jazzmen, and the boys played like this. Themselves out into first position here in the studio right now with a score of 65 points. Now, I wonder, are they going to be the teenagers' choice at home this particular week? As a matter of fact, they are our first trad group that we've had on the show, and they're all teenagers. I know somebody's been asking me, how old are they? They're between 17 and 18 years of age. The next act that we heard from was probably one of the most original comedians that it has ever been my pleasure to listen to. His name, Georgie Thompson. He comes from Liverpool, and Georgie told us something like this.
The judge said the Rolling Stones had made a nuisance of themselves, And if he used obscene language, he wasn't soothed, he was singing.
Georgie Thompson, I think that last gag was written for him by one of the Beatles, but nevertheless, he too has got a 65 score here in the studio, so we got a real tie here, and that is the highest score we've had on a comedian so far. And I would like to emphasize to everybody at home that to be a funny man is one of the toughest things in the whole of the entertainment business. Now, the last act that we heard from, and as I always say, ladies and gentlemen, we try and give you variety on Opportunity Knocks, was a fine choir of Welshmen, the Glandulus male voice choir, who sang for us like this. This song will keep a welcome, and with a love that never fails. This is the way ye draw here, when you come home again to Wales. This is the way ye draw. Thank you for the Glandulus male voice choir. They received a score of 60 points here in the studio. So the winners tonight on a tie, let me see, are the Blue Lotus Jazzmen and Georgie Thompson. Let's see the two boys and, or rather the two acts on a tie tonight. Georgie Thompson and the Blue Lotus Jazzmen. Congratulations.